Hi guys, welcome to summer. It is August 12th and this is our technology drop-in. I haven't been
Try
around for a while.
try the 19th, buddy. You're a week
What?
behind. The
What?
19th.
Oh, it is. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? I was sick last week, so I didn't update my document, but I have now. So let me just pull that up and we'll look at the menu here. So here's what we're going to talk about. Webex, some Microsoft Teams stuff, really is the big changes that have happened. So with Webex, let's start there. So Webex, we talked about before how in Webex you can have up to 49 people and stuff like that. So what they're actually doing, I think they're trying to increase the number, but if you wanted to focus on one or two people, there's a Zoom piece in here. So it will actually allow you to zoom into one or two people. Now, the interesting part of that Zoom function is that they do not any longer under the layouts have the speaker talks and then it just shows up on the main screen. I think what they're trying to do is get you to use the Zoom module. I wasn't able to test this because I didn't have 25 people to play with, but that's from what the documentation says. That's what they're doing there. There's also the ability when you're doing, so you've got this new area that they call the stage. And so basically anything that I put on the stage is forced on everyone else's screen. So if I want two specific speakers, I can drop them in, I can do all that kind of stuff. I can also go in here and remove the film strip, so get rid of all the people at the top there, and then just focus again, just so I don't have to worry about that, and then just have the main screen there. I don't think this is part of the stage. Again, I haven't had enough people to test it yet. But I think this is just for me as a visual user. I don't want to see all these other people. I just want to see the big screen. So I think that's is what's happening there. But if anyone gets into a big group and wants to test that and report back, that'd be awesome. Okay, phone calls in Microsoft. So I think most people have been switched over now. So we now are doing our phone call stuff. One of the things I wanted to show is that when I click on the phone here in Microsoft Teams, let me just make that a little bit bigger so we can see it. We're going to have our history in here. And one of the nice things about it, there's 3 dots here, and you can have all these different commands available, which includes add to contact or add to speed dial. So that's going to give you the option when you have these external people phoning. I can go in here and add that into the contact. Also, because it's external, I can also block it. So if you're getting those, and they're doing work on the back end, make sure that we're not getting the spam calls. But if you do, you can just block that phone number. Now, an interesting thing, and someone else might have different experience with it, but I find that when I create a contact in Outlook, it does not sync with Teams. So if anyone has other experience with that and wants to, again, provide feedback, let me know. But if you get really frustrated because up here you start typing in a name and you're trying to find someone that you know is in your Outlook, but they're not in here, that might be why. There's some syncing issues. So from what I've read, they are going to be looking into that and trying to fix that at some point in time. But of course, there's no specific date. Also, of course, we all know about voicemail, and we've talked about the voicemail in the past as well. Call history syncer, yeah. Oh, so channel calendars for a team. So if I've got a team created here, and I go in and somewhere along the line, let's say I want to invite everyone to the calendar testing group. If I go in and add a calendar invite, the calendar invite goes to the whole team. All right. It's not just the people who are following along in the channel. It does go to the whole team. So one of those, so that kind of makes things a little bit of a pain to do that. You know what? I think something just updated because I see a complete change in what was here before. There we go. The icons changed on me just before lunch. So if I wanted to go like this, and let's say I wanted to invite the calendar testing people, I can go up here and under the video call there, I'm going to go and schedule a meeting. Why they don't put it down at the bottom like we have in the other ones, I don't know, but that's what they've done. So when I go into here and I start adding my my information here, so I can go Bob test or what have you, I'll go down here and this is the group or the channel that I'm going to be inviting. So I'm just going to go ahead and send that to all the members of there, and that will show up. Now, in your calendar, you will see that, hey, there is an appointment to join in with for Trevor. So here's user 30 who I invited, and we can see here there's the Bob test. So we know that that's coming from the Microsoft Teams Playground, which is the name of my team. So as I said before, everyone gets an invitation regardless of whether they are in that channel or not. But there hasn't been in the past any real easy way of finding out what appointments are available or have been scheduled for the members of that channel. But there is now. So if you go up to the plus sign in the channel you're interested in, and you just do a quick search for calendar, you'll find one called Channel Calendar. And all that means is, hey, up in the top of the page here, we're going to have a link in a second. So there it is. I'm going to close that off. And what's going to happen now is that it's only going to show the activities for that calendar. So if I was to go into, let's say, conference videos here, and I do the same thing here, I'm going to schedule a meeting here, and I'll just do that for a little bit later here. 11 o'clock. Oh, I'm not coming, that's for sure. And I go back into that calendar from calendar testing up here. I think I've done it a couple times. You don't see that other one in there. So this is nice. It allows you to see all the different calendar appointments just for that channel. Does that make sense to everyone? Anyone not make sense? Okay. And oh, one thing I find a lot when I'm using Teams and I've invited someone is I always get these things about, hey, Trevor, I can't make it. Can we do this at 3 o'clock or something like that? Well, when you are receiving an invitation, so let's take a look at this Bob test. I've sent this out to my test user 30 guy here. So we'll go over into here. If we go into up into the big arrow here, so you can see all the details and stuff, there's a link here that says propose new time. You can also find it by right-clicking here, propose a new time, as well as on the desktop. I'm just using the web version now just so everyone can see it. But I can choose, I might attend or no, I won't. And then if I do that, it actually says, hey, here are all the people, there's their schedules, maybe there's another time. So I can actually click on here and go, I'm going to suggest this time instead. So I don't have to do that back and forth thing. I have a dentist appointment, so I have dentist, and I'll send it off. And so the organizer is going to get an email saying Trevor's not coming, or Trevor might come, depends on what I choose. But Trevor's also suggesting here's another time. And if you do it properly, you can look and go through and find what's the best time based on everyone's schedule, because you still can do that. So it doesn't actually write it over or anything like that. It just sends a note to the organizer. And let me just pull it up real quickly. Outlook.com. Sometimes it's faster working in the web. And give me a second, it'll show up. But there will be a message that comes back in here that says, hey, so-and-so can't make it, and here's a different time. So I just have to go in and edit the time. That's a much better way than doing the whole email back and forth and saying, hey, can we change the time? Give me something. Go do a busy search and offer me a suggestion. Don't just say I can't make it and whatever. Now, having said all that, that works great when it's like 2 or 3 or 4 people. If you've got a large group, chances are it's not going to work. And then we've talked about the different products available in Microsoft. I can't remember the name of what they are. It's the scheduling appointment. When I go into here, new message. Somewhere up top, there's a scheduling thing. I can't remember the name of it. It's been so long since I've used it. But it's the one that does, polls, blah. So if I go in, I can do a poll, and the poll will go in again and send emails out to everyone and say, hey, I know you're busy at these 15 times, but is there one you can move? And you can do a quick poll and then do that. But definitely that busy suggested time, really good for small groups. I think that's all I have today. Anyone got any questions? Oh, let's see. Kim, go ahead.
I was just wondering, going back to the Teams calls functionality, does that connect to the Outlook Gal at all?
Sorry, does that connect to the what?
The Outlook global address book?
No, that's what I was saying. At least in my experience, it hasn't been. And from what I read at one point, it would. I mean, some of the Windows guys have said that it does sync, and I'm like, well, it doesn't for me, even if I go through the web. So I'm not sure if there's a Windows syncing that works and it doesn't work on the Macs, or it doesn't work on the between the web or something like that. But in my experience, no. I mean, and quite frankly, it's easy to test. Just go into the calendar, add a new person like Fred Flintstone or something like that, and see if he ever shows up in Teams there.
But I'm
So-
talking about like I'm not talking about my personal address book. I'm talking about the university wide
Yep.
one. Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Okay,
I
no,
thought it
there's,
was after
yeah,
that.
you're talking Outlook, and there's
Yeah.
two, there's a directory of McCune people. That's run by ITS, and that's separate. But within Outlook, you can add names and stuff like there. Ideally, it's supposed to sync. That's the one that I've said, yeah, I've had problems. I have stuff that doesn't sync over. Your mileage may vary. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah. Again, I haven't played around with the Teams phone stuff and whatnot very much, but with respect to, say, for example, a long distance call, does it allow for those?
You know,
Like-
I asked that months ago, and I don't think I really got an answer on that one. I'm going to look into that, and I will post it to the group so that it'll be in the chat there. But
Yeah,
I know
Because-
for local calls, you don't have to dial 9 anymore if you're dialing. Like
Oh, really?
calling
That's-
Boston
Yeah.
Pizza or something, you don't have to dial 9. You can just dial like area code phone number.
yeah, there
Yeah.
is in the portal under technology support, there is a handout that the telecom guys put together. So video calls, meetings, Microsoft Teams phone calls. So there is, where is it here?
Okay.
Oh, here, phone calls. So making phone calls, the McEwen calling quick guide. So I don't recall there being anything in there about long distance. Let me just pull it up real quick and see if they've updated it lately. Come on. Yes, you can. Fine, long, whoops. Yep, so it looks like someone made changes. So let me just do a quick search here and see if long distance is in there. And I'm seeing no. So I'll find out. I'll get an answer and post that right away.
Okay,
Dave.
thanks. No, I'm just wondering if I get a call from my mother, can I just respond to that, or I have to use my private phone? That's just what I'm asking.
Yeah. When I asked that question too, because these are IP phones, so why wouldn't it just do the IP without long distance? I will get an answer for you.
Thanks, buddy.
An interesting thing too is, you know how sometimes you'll be sitting there talking on like a team chat like we're doing right now, and then you'll see somebody trying to call you, like do another video call. You'll see that window ping up. That will not happen if it's your phone. So if someone's actually dialing your phone, that you don't get a window popping up to tell you about that. In fact, it goes straight to voicemail. So that's kind of handy. I really quite like that. So so anything external phone and stuff like that goes to voicemail. Everything else here will still pop up depending on what your preferences are set. So like, for example, right now I've got do not disturb on. So nobody's getting through except for the 2 or 3 people I've said, yes, you can.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to stop our recording then. All right, so we should be done the recording. No, we're not done recording because Trevor just stopped screen sharing. Oh,